Good morning. It is, well, I guess it's good afternoon. It's 11:30 and I just got done with my farmer's market. It was fantastic. It's Renee, if you guys know me. I'm here in beautiful Lake Carroll, which is in Northwest Illinois. And I'm out for my daily walk. And this morning I woke up and I did a post about really like the two and a half years of my life that has got kind of like brought me to this point. So I know I shared my story kind of like my foundation, but I want to share with you guys today kind of, one of the darkest times of my life. So in December of 2016, I had been working for New York & Company, and I was a district manager, and I had 16 stores between Orlando, Northwest Florida, Southern Georgia, and all the way out to the Carolinas. Or I'm sorry, not to the Carolinas, sorry. Out to Columbus, Georgia, which was basically near Alabama. And I was working, I don't know, we'll call it 60 hours a week. I did, I think, 45,000 miles that year of just driving. And for those of you that know, when you've been in retail a long time, you're a district manager, you get a lot of perks. So I had a Mercedes that was paid for by the company, had an amazing salary. And when you make a certain income, you live to that income, right? And then if you're the mom and you're making the income, you just in your head, you're like, I can't do anything else. So it was, like I said, December. I'd been working my tail off, and it was like a Tuesday. I worked, I think, 14 hours. It was a really bad day. Had some bad interactions with my leader. It was just not a good day. So I woke up Wednesday morning and I couldn't breathe. And I remember, do I go continue my day traveling stores feeling this way, or do I go to the doctor? And I actually went to the doctor, and I actually had a nervous breakdown, which for those of you that know, you can have one. And I didn't realize that my body was telling me all these things because I was so stressed, so tired. And I remember when I went for therapy, the one thing that it kept reoccurring was control, money, control, and money. So my demons was control of everything and everyone, and money, right? And those are two things that, unfortunately, you have to really go very deep within yourself and figure out why. So then you start to go backwards, right? So then you start to reflect on your childhood, you reflect on your external influences, you reflect on, how did I get here? And so I remember crying. I think it was like 25 days of crying, a lot of prayer, a lot of conversations. And, you feel like the worst. Like I felt like I was on the ground. Like I couldn't stand back up. I couldn't breathe. That's just the best way to say it. But then there's always that one friend, right? You have that one guardian angel in your life. And this friend called me and was like, listen, I don't know what you're up to. I know you're super depressed, but there's an opportunity at Adidas, and you're not going to be the boss, and you're going to take a pay cut. And I remember, like, of course you go through I shared on my last story, like that pride, but it was still the control and the money that was like, ugh. So as you know, I did it. I joined Adidas. I'm so grateful for Adidas. So if you're at Adidas and you're with me on my journey, you actually added so much value because you let me go through what I needed to go through, which was learn how to be humble and gracious. And then I also got my confidence sort of back going through that journey. So also in that time, my son was going through some struggles at school. I wasn't a present mom or wife. And then, you start to look in the mirror and you're like, what are you doing? You're getting up every day, you're working for the man, you have this beautiful family, and you're wasting precious time focused on money and control. So fast forward, I told Kevin, like, let's move, let's get out of Florida. My dream was, I prayed on that, so the night before my breakdown, I prayed a prayer to God and said, God, please, if you hear my prayer, I want to be a mom, live in a small town, and not work. And here we are. And it's funny because everybody, I'm sure, is like, oh, that's not true. No, it really is true. I prayed that prayer. I'll never forget it. It was on the hotel room floor in Brandon, Florida. And it was a dark time. And I remember calling my brother and crying to him and praying with him. And he told me just to get up and keep moving and that God will see me through this. And so you kind of get in those ups and downs in your life and you're like, then you have friends that are there and, you know, people mean good by you, but I don't know that sometimes good people have not negative intent, it's not the right word. They just don't get it, right? So people try to relate. They say, oh, I've been there. But unless you've really walked in those shoes, you've never been there. So for those of you today that might be, hold on, I have to call, excuse me. For those of you today that might be in that dark place, you might be the girl or the guy on that bathroom floor, or I'm sorry, your hotel floor, and you don't think you could rise. I'm telling you, you can. First thing I did was I stopped listening to my inner voice. So every day I would get up and I'm like, you can do this. And then my friend that saved me, as I like to say, she said, Renee, every day you're going to get up, you're going to go to work, you're going to put your smile on, and you're going to be a light to these people. You're going to go have fun, you're going to add value at a dance, and you're going to look back one day and be so grateful for this opportunity to influence 150 people plus thousands of people from the world. And you know, every day I would get up, I'd put on my sneakers, I'd put on my pants, and I would go to work, and I would have the funnest time ever. Outwardly, I was smiling, right? I was having fun. So if you knew me or if you met me, inside I was still broken. I was still sad. I was still defeated. Then last year, I drank my Magic Mom Fuel. It's so funny because it's this is not about ketones, but it kind of is, right? Because ketones, all of you are like, oh, she's trying to sell me a drink again. This is not about the drink. I don't care if you ever drink the drink. I just want you to hear this story because this is why I'm sharing today's part 2. So there's like probably a 5-part series, so you may have to stay with me here. So ketones kind of showed up, you know, from one of my neighbors. I drank the drink. I joined as a promoter. I had fantastic business in the first 60 days. Post-holiday, I went to an event, met amazing people and friends, and they're still in my life. But it never hit me that I was running a business. It kind of was like a hobby, right? So I post, I sell a couple of things, but I didn't really do the work, right? I was dabbling in it. And it goes back to that money and control, right? So I wanted money from selling ketones because I lost control of having, we'll say, this big amount of money that I was used to making. So I was doing it for indirectly the wrong reasons. As soon as I stopped working and came out here and realized that, you know, the first month or two I was still working on my business, but it was from a different mindset, and my heart and mind was in it for the end result, which was, again, the money. So a couple weeks ago, we had a training call that talked about being like the best recruiter, or not recruiter, best promoter. And there's some daily things that you should be doing, like reading, moving your body, learning, influencing. And I'm like, who's that person? That's not me. And then I went back to, why was I in retail? Why did I give up 27 years of my life was to mentor, inspire, lead, influence. And it wasn't about the money until it became about the money, like I said, when my days were broken, when I was sad. So I kind of moved away from, I don't care if I sell any ketones this week. I don't care if I make any money on Friday. What I care about is sharing this conversation. What I care about is moving my body. What I care about is reading books. What I care about is going live every day and sharing me with you, because guess what? There's someone else out there that needs to hear this. So I don't care if I get paid, quote unquote, today from sharing this message. I care that someone feels broken and knows that I did too. Because recently I've become unbroken and I'm standing a little taller and a little more confident. And my business is starting to reflect that, because I'm bringing more people to my business. I'm bringing more customers to feeling better. And I don't care about the money. It's not about that. It's about growing this business around the fundamental benefits of mental health, about wellness, about gratitude, about community. And that's kind of like where I'm at. And I've had the most amazing week I've ever had since that dark day in December. I've gotten up every day this week with a positive attitude, an open heart, I'm gracious for everything and everyone that's currently in my life. And I just felt compelled to share that today, because not a lot of people know about my breakdown. And it's not something you kind of lead with, right? Hi, I'm Renee. I had a nervous breakdown at 41 years old. How are you? And I do want to thank my husband, Kevin, and my kids, because they were there for me, my brother and his family. I remember sitting at Applebee's on the Friday after my breakdown in Florida, and I couldn't stop crying. So my Kevin called my brother and said, I'm taking your sister to you. And he drove me to New York to be with my brother, because I have no parents. That's the first story. And you know, it was so great, because Kevin and my kids are the whole reason why I get up every day. They're my best friends, and I love them so much. And I just am so thankful that they stood by me. I don't know why I'm crying. I wasn't gonna cry. We have to stop walking. I'm trying to hold it together, but it really it came over me today that I needed to share with you guys and let you know it's going to be okay. And you have to believe in yourself, and you have to quiet the noise. Don't listen to that negative talk, and don't listen to the naysayers. Pray for those people and keep moving. Put people in your life that add value, that you can be the best you in front of them, or the worst you, right? So no makeup, bad hair, who cares? Dirty cars, dirty house, who cares? Care about the value that you bring to that person, and care about the value that they add to you. And that, my friends, is part 2 of Renee Kearney, your passionate prover here in Northwest Illinois, who does love drinking ketones, and I feel like ketones have saved my life. So I love them more than you'll ever know. And this community and these people have been amazing people. So gracious. I'm so blessed. I have sisters that I didn't have, that every day we get up and we cheer each other on, and we love each other, and we root for each other, and we're humble, and that in itself is worth millions. It's priceless. So Shelly, Stacy, Brittany, Stephanie, if you hear me, I love you so much. You've been amazing friends to me, and I love you guys. So have a blessed day. I'm out here doing my 2 miles. So part 3 is coming. Love you.